Okay, hello! Welcome back to my channel. Today I've set myself a challenge. I'm here in my studio in Berlin, recording videos late at night. That's what I love to do. And I would like to explain to you how playing the piano works. And all of that in 10 minutes. So what I will do now, I will stop my timer. And then I will explain you the most important things about piano playing. So, actually, if we just think about it, it's not very difficult. We have to play the right notes in the right moment, in the right dynamic. So in the piano there are hammers hitting against the strings. So if the hammers are quicker, then the noise will be louder, the volume will be louder, and then we just have to figure out the timing and add some pedal here and there, and that's it. We have mastered the piano. Okay, if it would just be that simple, then that would be amazing. Of course, we also want to bring in some emotions. We want to bring life to the music. We want to make it plastic. We want to make it three-dimensional. We want to have feelings, thoughts, philosophies. We want to add that to music. We want to add even spiritual aspects to the music. What is the difference between a very good piano player and an artist? In my opinion, it's imagination. How much creativity does the artist have? How much can he or she really imagine different images, different sceneries, different emotions, feel them and bring them to life? And that's what is the difference between an artist and a piano player. But of course, in order to get the right emotions, we need to press the right keys in the right order, the right time, with the right dynamic. So it's kind of a code. We encode all the emotions into this pattern and the audience decodes it with the frequencies that they get, right? So that's what piano playing basically is. It's a communication between the artist, the instrument, and the audience. And there's always a two-way communication. You might have noticed that in concerts where, the audience was not really listening well, and also the artist and the music suffers from it. Or if the piano is really bad, it doesn't work out either. So the best is if you have the perfect audience, the perfect room, the perfect piano, and the perfect artist. So that's it. Transferring emotions from one human being to others through an instrument. And on this instrument, you have to play the right notes in the right time, in the right order, with the right speed, so with the right volume. Adding some pedal here and there for the colors. And how do you learn that? You have to look at it like a language. Piano playing is like a language. So we learn most of it by imitation. So if we imitate from our teachers, if we imitate from recordings, from YouTube videos, we learn the best. And then we have to speak with our fingers, because articulation, articulare from Latin language, means the joints. So we have to speak with our joints and then use all the muscles in the right way to make that happen. We have to master that on different levels. So first of all, we have the level of learning the music. It's like learning to write and to read. So we have to also understand how music is written and understand from a sheet of music what we have to do on the keyboard. Then the biggest part of it is mastering technique. And technique not just meaning to play fast or loud, but actually to do what you actually desire to do. Assuming you have imagination, what we have discussed before, you need the right technique in order to make that happen. So that means, how do I use my fingertips? How do I use the fingers? How do I use the joints? How do I use my hands? How do I use my forearms? How do I use my upper arms, my shoulders, my back, my seat, my legs, everything? Liszt once said that when he played the piano, music came from his solar plexus all up the back, over shoulders to the hands. So we have to really involve our whole body. And then, of course, not just the physical part of the motion, which creates emotion, but also we have to listen very carefully what is happening in order to control ourselves and then make adaptations. Some famous musician, I don't know anymore who it was, said there is no wrong note. The next notes decide whether it was a wrong note. So it's the connection between the notes that's very important, or as Debussy said, what is between the notes is very important. And it's the imagination, it's the technique, and on the most abstract level we have the interpretation. That means we have music written from different composers. I have to look at my time. Okay, we have a few minutes left, around 3-4 minutes. So let's talk about interpretation now. We have the composers. And the composers also had some imagination. So they brought something to the paper, and we have to now understand what kind of emotions, feelings, thoughts, philosophies, ideas the composers had, and bring that to life. So we have different versions from the piece. We have the versions of the composer, we have the version that I understand, that I read. We have the version of each day, because each day is a little different, and we have the version which the audience receives. So we have different versions of the piece, and that's what's so special about the music, right? I mean, if we look at a piece of art, it's always kind of the same, right? Maybe, through the eyes it's different, but the artwork itself doesn't change. But the music itself is a very fragile thing, because it's different in each moment, and therefore we are a little bit like actors, so we actually move and interpret the music spontaneously, and we have to bring the ideas of the composers to life, and therefore we have to study a lot. Like every composer has different ways of notating things. We have to understand the traditions, how the instruments of the past were being played, and also how to do things in order to transport the meaning that the composers put into that kind of music. So I know that is very complex, and I would say there's even a level above that, and that's the spiritual realm. If we really get to the highest possible version of interpreting music, if all the other things are in place, if we play the right notes at the right time, with the right speed, with the right dynamic, and if we put in all the emotions that we can feel through the music, also regarding to the version that the composer wrote, with respect to the composer's intentions, if we use music as a language, and if we have mastered technique, listening, imagination, then we come to the spiritual realm, where music is much more than just sound, where we really connect to the audience, we really can make something special, where we create these moments that stay forever. I remember performances that I will never forget, where we can create this elevated atmosphere which really connects us as human beings and connects us to the divine. So that is what music can do. That is what piano playing can do. I think we have just hit the 10 minutes. It was really great. You were listening and watching this video. And if you also want to learn how to play the piano in a way that's artistic, so it's not just moving the fingers on the keys, but how you can really move something, then you should apply for a free strategy session with me, where we will really look at your pieces and find out how you can make the most out of them using all the different aspects that I've just mentioned. And we really have time, one-on-one conversation for 60 minutes, where we really look at your pieces and bring them to the next level. If you then say, you want to continue working with me, that's fine. But if you want to just use these steps and make the best out of it yourself, that's also fine. So all you have to do is you have to apply for this session now on aaronpilson.com/mentoring, or you just send me a personal DM on Instagram and Facebook, and we'll find out if and how I can help you. So see you there, and take care.